A twist in Pretzel City politics. City council members appear split on a change to residency requirements for public officials. Some call it a move forward, others worry for its impact.
Most employees or appointees with the city of Freeport must live in or near the community. WIFR's Nathaniel Langley joined the tense meeting where accusations and passions flew.
Tonight's City Council featured one out of order, several claims of fraud, and countless head shakes at a time when the city manager declares a change is needed.
They're just not enough.
Freeport city manager says the community needs more employees in City Hall.
It says you live in the city limits of Freeport, period.
One law stands in the way. A 2017 ordinance requires most public officials to live in or near Freeport. That could change if City Council eliminates the requirement.
In a lot of ways, this discourages local people, and it takes away from their opportunity to grow into these roles.
Why apply and accept the position if you know you don't want to move here?
That's just not right. So no, the thing you want is the best person for Freeport, regardless of where they're from.
Others argue Freeport needs the change to meet challenging times.
But it also adds another layer of difficulty for recruitment with the residency requirement.
There's another alleged sticking point for some council members, whether or not the requirement has been enforced.
And people have been allowed to, for years now, get away with not living in the community, and now all of a sudden we want to change the rules so that they're not in violation of the ordinance.
When asked who was following the ordinance,
I have to get back to you on the specifics.
an answer wasn't yet known, but leaders stress a common goal.
All I'm going to say to you is what you want is the best people.
That, some stress, means those in City Hall need to live in the community.
It means Freeport people succeed, and I think that's what we've got to look at.
The city of Rockford changed its residency requirements in 2021. That law allows most city employees to live anywhere in Winnebago County.
Thank you, Nathaniel. And tonight's first reading of the law will become a second reading at the next city council. Then a decision must be made on the proposed ordinance.